I would like to thank Dr. Varghese for inviting me to have this time. I'll go straight to the point, right? And I'll probably differ with, slightly differ and agree with what Dr. Saji was saying. So we are talking about education and startups, right? So there is a problem here, right? There is a fundamental problem, which is anathema to profit in education, right? So I presume most of the startups are actually trying to build businesses which are for profit, right? But typically we say, okay, look, education is a noble cause. It is, right? No doubt about it. But uh, for whatever reason, regulatory or historic reasons, profit making is not allowed. So I think that is probably where as a fundamental structure we have to look at. And again, it's not in our hands, not in the startup's hand, but as a policy, probably we have to look at it. The second aspect which I would like to address, right, because we have only a few minutes. If you look at education, ultimately it still remains a long-term in nature. You look at maybe 200 years back when the British had rule across the world. Probably the average life of a sailor is probably what, 40 years. So there was no room for studies for, studying for 15 years, 20 years. There was no room, right? So now you look at the life expectancy and you look at it as a, I'm saying slightly more like a cliche, right? What is the return on investment on the education? So we spend 20 years. Is that giving you enough return for the next 40 years?
Maybe
Right?
Mr. Kamath, you have to hold the mic in your hand.
Ah, all right. Okay. So, so you look at education also in the in the capitalistic context, right? You have certain investment being done in money and time, and you look at what is the kind of return you can get, right? So it still remains a long-term activity. And when you look, when I look at startups and my own story, right? I think the time that we expected that things will change has always been far, far below what actually turned out to be, right? Uh, if you look at a simple educational product, right? Let's say I'm the K-12 domain. So let us say you decide to make a course. It will take a year for you to make the course, another year to convince a school to adopt it, assuming you're talking to a school as a customer. It will probably take you 2 years for you to actually see the result. Yeah, you will get the early feedback, but it takes you a long time. So my suggestion to startups in education will be, you have to think definitely long term. There are possibilities of short term responses, but I think far uh, more and more, like Dr. Saji was saying, education is a long term activity, and unless you have that long term vision, right, I don't think you will achieve the ultimate goal. Again, I may be slightly more um, altruistic in this, right? So instantly, I was last week I was talking to somebody in the financial markets, saying, what's happening in education, right, and edtech. So he had a very interesting viewpoint. So he says, look, education and edtech is always going to be under pressure on for two things. It basically attracts quality talent, right? Uh, you will always find people who are well educated, who have a better view of life, investing into it and coming into it, right? And then there is a lot of money chasing it. So it is very difficult for you to succeed unless you have a mix of both. So just two more aspects I would cover, and then I will leave to you. The prospect of a particular education startup looks at, so you have to look at what is the value that you're delivering, right? And fundamentally, if you are a ed tech, most of you would be, I think, technology oriented startups, right? Technology fundamentally has to be deflationary. If you can't do that, I think we have lost the plot. Second, you have a very challenging uh, situation on the other side. If you look at teachers, if you look at India and the K-12, especially K-12, right? You would find that more than half of the kids actually go to a private school. Whereas if you look at the income levels, probably less than 5% pay income taxes, which is entry level, which is 20,000 rupees, right? It used to be, and now I think it's much higher. So the value of a particular uh, product or service that you offer, the moment you want to scale beyond the 1%, 2% of Indian community which can afford anything, the price is going to be a challenge. So whatever you build, you have to decide whether you want to target the uh, the top 5% or the 50%. This is very important, and this is what we see across, right? If you want to scale, use technology, bring in the deflation, but make sure you have the ability to scale and have the staying power for long term. And especially if you look at China as an example, there are probably three companies which have $10 billion plus valuations, right? One focuses on teaching English. The second one teaches basically in K-12, like what Byju's is today. The third one is in entrance prep, right? The UPSC equivalent of the world. So if you focus, if you choose a particular sector, you address, you decide what to address, have a long-term vision and the patient capital, and bring in technology to do the personalization and bring the deflation, I think you have a winning formula. Thank you.